She walked in as a customer. They treated her like she didn't belong. 10 minutes later, they were all out of a job. It wasn't about the money. Monica Traylor had plenty of that. She was 44 years old, born and raised in Wichita Falls, Texas, and the CEO of a tech firm that had doubled in value 2 years in a row. Her company, Trilonix Financial, had just acquired 3 regional banks across the Midwest. One of them had branches stretching through Ohio, including this one on East Livingston Avenue in Columbus. It was just another Tuesday. She pulled into the parking lot in her silver Tesla, parked near the front, and grabbed her black leather tote. No assistants, no drivers, no security. Just Monica, in black slacks, a navy blouse, and her natural curls pulled back into a low puff. Gold hoops. Clean nails. The kind of woman who didn't need to say much to hold a room. She stepped inside the bank at 9:03 a.m., just after they opened. The air smelled faintly of fresh coffee and copier ink. A middle-aged man in khakis and a name badge stood at the front desk. He looked up but didn't speak. She gave a polite nod, then walked toward the business services desk like she had a right to be there. Because she did. Behind the glass counter, 2 tellers were chatting. One, thin, white, red lipstick, tight bun. The other, older, possibly Indian, flipping through a manila folder. Neither looked up immediately. A woman with a Coach purse and oversized sunglasses stepped in behind Monica and walked straight to the personal banking line. She got a smile. Monica waited. And waited. Finally, the red lipstick teller looked up. Her nameplate read, Shelby. Yes, she asked like Monica was interrupting something. I'm here to speak with someone about the transition paperwork for the business accounts. My firm completed the acquisition last week. I just want to ensure we're on the same page before Friday. Shelby gave a short laugh. You'll need an appointment for that. We don't just handle those kinds of things at the counter. She said it with a half smile, like Monica should have known better. I called yesterday, Monica said calmly. They told me someone named Devin would be available between 9 and noon. Shelby looked around, then turned back. Devin isn't in yet. You can have a seat. Monica turned and looked at the 3 empty chairs behind her. She glanced at the clock on the wall, 9:07. Would you mind letting someone know I'm here? I won't take long. Shelby rolled her eyes, literally rolled them, and tapped on her screen like she was suddenly swamped. I'll let someone know, she said without looking up again. But that wasn't the part that bothered Monica the most. Monica sat quietly in the lobby, watching as time ticked past. A flat-screen TV on the wall played a muted segment of morning news while a soft instrumental version of Ain't No Mountain High Enough played over the speakers. She tried to focus, but her eyes kept drifting to the counter. 10 minutes passed. Then 15. Customers came and went. A middle-aged white man in a blue golf shirt asked about transferring funds from an investment account. Shelby smiled at him. Laughed. Asked about his daughter. He left with a handshake and a receipt. Monica stood up calmly, walked to the counter again. Excuse me, she said. Has Devin arrived? Shelby gave her a tight smile. Still not in. But I did let someone know you're here. Monica glanced toward the offices. May I speak with whoever's available then? Ma'am, I said we'll call you when someone's ready. Monica nodded slowly. Okay. She turned around and walked back to her seat, passing a couple who had just walked in. They were greeted immediately, taken to an office. The man gave Monica a quick glance, then looked away just as quickly. Another 5 minutes. Monica stood up again, her patience wearing thinner now, but her expression still composed. This time, she went past the counter toward the hallway where the offices were. A young black woman in a headset tried to intercept her. Hi, ma'am. Can I help you? I'm looking for Devin, Monica replied. Or whoever's available for a quick business account inquiry. I called ahead yesterday. The young woman hesitated. She looked down at her tablet, then back up. Devon's not in. Let me just double-check the schedule. Who did you say you were? Monica Traylor. Something shifted in the woman's face. Her eyes blinked a little faster. She recognized the name. Monica kept her tone gentle. Could you let your branch manager know I'm here? Of course. Yes. I'll let Miss Lehman know right now. Back in the lobby, Monica sat again. Her phone buzzed. It was a message from her COO, Ellis Ducey. Everything smooth at the branch? She stared at the screen, thought about replying yes. Thought about lying. Instead, she typed. Not quite. Give me 10 minutes. As she slid her phone back into her bag, she heard someone mutter behind the glass counter. Not sure why she's still sitting here, Shelby said in a low voice. But not low enough. She's not even dressed for the suite, her coworker laughed. Right. Some people think because they have a business card, they own the place. Monica's jaw clenched. But she didn't move. Didn't flinch. Not yet. A white-haired man in a charcoal suit stepped through the door. Regional Director. Name tag. Just from the way the front staff straightened up, Monica knew he wasn't expected this morning. He made a beeline for Monica's seat. Miss Traylor, he asked. She stood. Yes. I'm Thomas Beck. Regional Director. I believe there's been a misunderstanding. May we speak in private? He glanced behind him, not at Monica but at the staff. His expression wasn't friendly. Monica smiled politely. We can speak here. Thomas hesitated, then nodded. Of course. He turned to the front desk. His voice carried now. Everyone on the floor, please step into the conference room. Right now. Shelby looked confused. Sorry, why? You'll be briefed in 5 minutes. Conference room. Now. The silence that followed was heavy. Shelby and the others slowly stepped away, clearly rattled. One whispered something to another. But no one laughed this time. Monica reached for her phone, already dialing. But this wasn't the moment the room would remember most. That part came next. Thomas Beck stood still, arms crossed, facing the office hallway like he was waiting for a fire alarm to go off. Monica didn't speak yet. She just scrolled her phone, thumb steady, as if she were checking a grocery list. She wasn't angry. She was calculating. Finally, she looked up and said, "Get Ellis on the line." Thomas didn't hesitate. He reached into his pocket and tapped his own screen. He's on standby. The two of them stood near the glass door while, inside the conference room, 5 employees stared at the table like school kids waiting for the principal. Monica didn't look at them yet. She didn't need to. I'm not here to embarrass anyone, she said softly. That's not how I lead. Thomas gave a quick nod, quiet. But if people can't treat clients with basic decency, they don't belong anywhere near a financial institution. Especially not one that now operates under my name. Thomas's mouth twitched, like he was suppressing a sigh. Understood. At that moment, Devon finally appeared in the hallway, looking breathless, shirt untucked on one side. He slowed when he saw Monica. Then he saw Thomas. Then the staff in the conference room. Is this? Monica looked him dead in the eye. It's handled. Devon glanced down, unsure whether to sit, leave, or melt. Thomas stepped forward, opened the door to the conference room, and said firmly. Miss Traylor has a few words. The room fell even quieter, if that were possible. Continued in next post. Due to length limit. Monica stepped into the doorway. Her posture was steady, her voice level. "Good morning," she began. "I won't take much of your time." The staff looked up at her with a mix of confusion and discomfort. Shelby was seated, arms folded, avoiding Monica's eyes. The others glanced at each other nervously. "My name is Monica Traylor. I'm the CEO of Trilonics Financial, the firm that now owns this branch. I came here this morning as a client." Quietly. Unannounced. I expected professionalism. I expected respect. What I received instead was dismissal. She let that hang in the air. "Now, I'm not here to make a scene. I don't believe in public shaming. But I do believe in accountability. I want each of you to think about how you showed up today. Not just to me, but to everyone who walked through that door." Shelby opened her mouth as if to speak, but Monica raised one hand slightly. Graceful but firm. No excuses. Just reflection. This is your moment to grow. She turned to Thomas. "I expect a full report on this branch's customer service training protocols by end of day. And a follow-up plan by Friday." Then, to the room, she added one last thing: respect is not about titles. It's about humanity. Remember that. With that, she turned, walked out the door, and didn't look back. Thomas followed a step behind. The silence in the room remained long after the door shut behind them. Outside, the sun had risen higher in the sky, casting warm light across the sidewalk. Monica paused just for a moment, her hand still resting on the strap of her tote, then exhaled slowly. "Dignity isn't loud," she murmured to herself. "But it leaves an echo." Thomas walked beside her, still quiet, still processing. Monica didn't break stride. She didn't need to say another word. Her presence had already spoken volumes. 3 hours later, Monica sat in her office overlooking the Columbus skyline, a cup of chamomile tea cooling beside her laptop. Ellis had just wrapped a Zoom debrief with HR, and Thomas was on his way to the airport to meet with other regional managers. But Monica, she sat in silence, replaying the morning. It wasn't just the treatment. It was the assumption, the quiet confidence some people carried that told them they were gatekeepers. And the ease with which they weaponized that assumption against people who didn't look like them. She had built a company that prided itself on access, equity, and data-driven efficiency. Yet here she was, having to remind people of the basics: respect, dignity, awareness. Her phone buzzed. It was a message from her executive assistant. Request from CNN Business. They want a comment on this morning. She sighed. The incident had already leaked, probably through someone at the branch. A video? A whisper? A tweet? Tell them no comment, for now, she replied. Then paused. But prepare a statement for internal release. Title it, Leadership is Not Optional. She pushed her chair back, walked to the window, and watched as a group of schoolchildren walked in pairs across the plaza below. Their backpacks bounced, their chatter was light, unbothered. That's what this was about, not ego, not revenge. But building a world where those kids would walk into banks, boardrooms, or any space and be seen for who they are, not what someone assumes. Her assistant buzzed again. Shelby resigned. Sent an email an hour ago. No apology. Just, I don't feel this is the right culture for me. Monica's expression didn't change. Perhaps, she murmured, the culture is finally doing its job. She turned away from the window. And with that, she sat down to write the opening lines of a new branch-wide policy, titled, Presence, Protocol, and People First. That IT was just another Tuesday. The kind where you don't expect anything big to happen. Birds chirped overhead. A school bus rumbled by. But inside the silver Tesla that pulled into the parking lot of East Livingston Bank in Columbus, Ohio, history was quietly arriving. Monica Traylor. Age 44. CEO of Trilonics Financial. A woman whose firm had just acquired 3 regional banks, including this one. Born and raised in Wichita Falls, Texas. First in her family to graduate college. First to build a multi-million-dollar company from scratch. But none of that was on her face. She wore simple black slacks, a navy blouse, and gold hoop earrings. Her curls were pulled back in a low puff. Clean nails, no ring. Just Monica, professional, poised, and alone. No entourage. No flash. And that's what made her power so easy to miss. She stepped inside the bank at 9:03 a.m. The smell of fresh coffee, copier ink, and lemon polish lingered in the air. A middle-aged man in khakis looked up from the front desk. No words. Just a flat stare. Monica gave a polite nod and walked toward the business services desk like she had every right to be there. Because she did. Behind the glass counter, 2 tellers chatted. One, white, mid-30s, red lipstick, tight bun. Her name tag read Shelby. The other, older, South Asian maybe, leafing through a manila folder. Neither looked up. A woman with oversized sunglasses and a Coach purse strolled in and got a warm, immediate smile. Monica stood. Waited. And waited. Finally, Shelby looked up. Yes, she asked. Like Monica was the interruption. Monica smiled gently. I'm here to speak with someone about the transition paperwork for the business accounts. My firm completed the acquisition last week. Just making sure we're on the same page before Friday. Shelby gave a short laugh. You'll need an appointment for that. We don't just handle those kinds of things at the counter. She said it like Monica should have known better. Like she didn't belong behind that glass wall. I called yesterday, Monica replied calmly. They said someone named Devin would be available between 9 and noon. Shelby glanced around casually, then turned back. Devin isn't in yet. You can have a seat. Monica looked at the clock. 9:07 a.m. Would you mind letting someone know I'm here? I won't take long. Shelby rolled her eyes. Actually rolled them. Then tapped her keyboard with exaggerated effort. I'll let someone know. She never looked up again. And that, Monica would later reflect, wasn't even the part that hurt most. Scene 2, Quiet Disrespect. Monica sat down in the small lobby. 3 chairs. A table with outdated magazines. A muted TV screen played morning news, while a soft instrumental of Ain't No Mountain High Enough drifted from the speakers. But the irony wasn't lost on her. She crossed her legs. Unclenched her jaw. And waited. 5 minutes. Then 10. She watched other customers get greeted with ease, taken into offices. One older man got a handshake and a joke. A young couple received compliments on their baby's outfit. Shelby laughed. Smiled. Warm, attentive. None of that was extended to Monica. At 9:17, Monica rose again. Calmly. Excuse me, she asked. Has Devin arrived yet? Shelby barely looked up. Still not in. But I let someone know. Monica nodded. May I speak with whoever's available, then? Shelby's smile tightened. Ma'am, I said we'll call you when someone's ready. There was something unmistakable in the tone. A gatekeeping energy. 1 part superiority, 2 parts dismissal. Monica nodded again, slower this time. Okay. She turned back and returned to her seat. Another 5 minutes passed. Then 5 more. And that's when it happened. She overheard it. Just behind the glass. Shelby muttered to her coworker, loud enough for the sound to carry. Not sure why she's still sitting here. The other teller snickered. She's not even dressed for the suite. Right? Some people think just 'cause they have a business card, they own the place. That one hit Monica's jaw tightened. But her face didn't change. She stayed still, eyes forward. But inside, something shifted. Scene 3, the shift. Her phone buzzed. A message from her COO, Ellis Ducey. Everything smooth at the branch? She stared at the screen. Thought about saying yes. Letting it go. Taking the high road. But something inside her refused. Instead, she typed. Not quite. Give me 10 minutes. She had always believed that leadership meant showing up calm, collected, and composed. But that didn't mean silent. That didn't mean invisible. She stood again. This time, she walked past the counter toward the back offices. A young black woman in a headset looked up. Hi, ma'am. Can I help you? I'm looking for Devin. Or whoever can handle a business account inquiry. The woman looked at her tablet, then back up. Name, please. Monica Traylor. Her eyebrows lifted. Eyes widened just slightly. She recognized the name. One moment, she said quickly. I'll get Miss Lehman. The branch manager. Back in the lobby, Monica sat again, but now her posture had changed. There was no more uncertainty in her silence. Just intent. And then the door opened. Scene 4, Authority enters. A tall, silver-haired man in a charcoal suit stepped in. He moved quickly. With purpose. His name tag read Thomas Beck, Regional Director. He didn't greet the front staff. He made a beeline for Monica. Miss Traylor, he asked. She stood. Yes. I'm Thomas Beck. I believe there's been a misunderstanding. May we speak in private? Monica glanced behind him, at Shelby, the staff now whispering nervously. We can speak here, she said evenly. Thomas paused, then nodded. Of course. He turned back to the counter. Everyone on the floor, conference room. Now. Shelby blinked. Sorry, what? You'll be briefed in 5 minutes. Go. No one argued. The whispering stopped. The laughter died. Monica didn't move. She reached into her tote, pulled out her phone. Calm. Deliberate. Get Ellis on the line, she said. Thomas didn't miss a beat. He tapped his own phone. He's on standby. Inside the glass conference room, 5 employees sat like kids waiting for detention. Outside, Monica stood quietly. Watching. And then she spoke. Scene 5, the lesson. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't shame. She stepped just inside the doorway, posture tall, expression clear. Good morning, she began. I won't take much of your time. Shelby looked down. Her arms were crossed. The others fidgeted. My name is Monica Traylor. CEO of Trilonix Financial. The firm that now owns this branch. I came here today as a client. I didn't bring a camera crew. I didn't demand attention. I expected professionalism. I expected respect. I received neither. A heavy pause. I'm not here to punish you. But I am here to ask you to reflect. On how you treat people when you think they're nobody. When you assume they're unimportant. When you measure worth by appearance or assumption. Shelby started to speak, but Monica raised a hand, soft but firm. No excuses. Just growth. You have a choice now. Evolve, or step aside. She turned to Thomas. I expect a written report on this branch's customer service protocols by end of day. And a full improvement plan by Friday. Then back to the room. Respect is not about titles. It's about humanity. Remember that. And just like that, she turned and left. The echo. Outside, the sun was higher now, casting gold across the sidewalk. Thomas followed a step behind. He didn't speak. He didn't have to. Monica reached for her sunglasses, paused, then whispered, mostly to herself. Dignity isn't loud. But it leaves an echo. She didn't look back. She didn't need to. Her presence had already changed everything.